One was the top prodigy of the Dragon Kingdom. The other was a god-king of the Pantheon Gods, whose name shook the world. As the two clashed, every strike carried devastating power. The battlefield within 100 meters was already in ruins. Dustin wielded his energy-forged longsword, and with every swing, dazzling light erupted as if it could tear the heavens apart. Poseidon, on the other hand, brandished his trident, summoning wind and rain at will. Each strike raised massive tidal waves, making him seem like the ruler of all things. Sword energy and water currents intertwined, plunging the entire battlefield into chaos. General Lewis and the others watched intently, trying to discern any advantage in the fight. However, Dustin and Poseidon's speed had already surpassed their limits of perception. All they could see were two blurry figures constantly colliding, one moment fighting over the sea, the next shifting to land, then back to the water again. The sheer destructive power made it seem as if the world itself was being torn apart. Ha! How exhilarating! It's been so long since I had such a thrilling fight! As time passed, Poseidon grew even fiercer, as if he had limitless strength. He stood atop the waves, raising his hand to command the winds and summon storms. This guy is strange. During their battle, Dustin couldn't help but feel surprised. He noticed that Poseidon seemed capable of absorbing energy from the sea. No matter how much power he used, he could replenish it instantly, making him an unstoppable fighting machine. This was likely Poseidon's special ability. To be crowned a god-king of the Pantheon Gods, he certainly had extraordinary traits. Dustin knew he couldn't let this fight drag on. If it continued, he would eventually be drained and overwhelmed. Breaking army! Seizing an opening, Dustin unleashed his killing move. In a flash, his entire being merged with his sword, transforming into a colossal white blade of energy that shot straight at Poseidon. The enormous sword radiated apocalyptic power, parting the sea in its wake. Layers of protective water barriers shattered like fragile paper upon contact. Seeing this, Poseidon's expression darkened. He did not dare to take the attack lightly. With a swift motion, he spun his trident, forming a massive vortex of water before him. The suction force of the whirlpool was terrifying. It dragged fish from the ocean depths, grinding them into fragments upon contact. Poseidon's intent was clear. Since Dustin had merged with his sword, he would simply crush them both in one go. Boom! Without hesitation, the giant sword pierced straight into the whirlpool. A thunderous explosion followed, shaking the heavens and the earth. A violent shockwave erupted, sending towering waves surging dozens of meters high, completely engulfing both combatants. Not only did the waves surge wildly, but the blast's aftershock extended hundreds of meters, throwing General Lewis and his men to the ground. Though they weren't injured again, they were left in a disheveled state. However, they had no time to care about that. Quickly scrambling to their feet, they turned their eyes back to the battlefield. 300 meters away, above the raging waves, Dustin stood in midair, sword in hand, exuding a terrifying aura. Poseidon, however, was nowhere to be seen, seemingly swallowed by the sea. No way! Could Lord Poseidon have lost? Lu Jun's eyes widened in disbelief. Poseidon, one of the 4 great god-kings and a pillar of the Pantheon Gods. How could such a peerless powerhouse lose to Dustin? No! Impossible! No matter how strong Dustin is, he can't possibly compare to a god-king. General Lewis scowled, his face grim. He had assumed that Poseidon's arrival would easily settle the battle. But not only had the fight been evenly matched, now there was no trace of Poseidon at all. It was hard to believe. Yet, unlike the others, Dustin showed no signs of joy at his apparent victory. Instead, he frowned slightly. Even though Poseidon had been driven into the depths, his aura had not weakened in the slightest. On the contrary, it was growing stronger, like he was absorbing something. Just as Dustin realized this, a loud boom echoed. A figure suddenly burst from the sea and stood upon the waves once more. It was Poseidon. But he was no longer the same as before. His face had turned fierce, his body more massive and muscular, and his skin was now covered in glowing blue scales. Most terrifying of all, behind him, a pair of massive blue wings had emerged, resembling those of a demon. The transformed Poseidon exuded an aura several times stronger than before. Even a single glance from him made General Lewis and the others tremble in fear.
And just can't accept it. This can't be the end yet. You promised to never leave, and now you're gone. Can't believe destined for a lifetime, love with no end, love with no end. Staying in my imagination, memorizing the past time, the secrets, the love, the care, now they're echoes in the air. I still see your face in every place, feel your warmth, your gentle grace. But now there's just an empty space, and I'm lost in this endless chase. Keeping you in my heart, a piece of you I'll never let go. Though distance brings separation, in my